Welcome to Fantastic Vision. Please subscribe us before you watch today's video. The suppression of China by Western countries, from chips to new energy, and even rare metals, is like a war without gunpowder in the competition between technology and economy. The United States even pulled in allies, such as Europe and Japan, using various means to find ways to make China stuck. But it is the United States itself that is stuck. Why do you say that? Because China's countermeasures have precisely hit a pain point in Western countries. The thing is like this. On December 3, 2024, US President Biden made another move against China's semiconductor industry. This time, he included 140 Chinese semiconductor companies in the import control list in one go. What does that mean? Simply put, these companies' products are restricted from being exported to the United States and its allied countries. This move, on the surface, is intended to block China's semiconductor development, but the underlying plan is self-evident. The United States is also pressuring the Netherlands to stop ASML from exporting extreme ultraviolet lithography (EUV) machines to China, which are key equipment for manufacturing high-end chips. Even Japan has not been spared. The United States has issued harsh words, stating that if Japan continues to do business with China in this area, it will be targeted. At this point, people may ask, why does the United States always focus on China's semiconductors? The reason is actually very simple. Chips are the core of modern technology. Without chips, mobile phones cannot be used, computers cannot be turned on, and even cars cannot run. The United States wants to strangle China with chips, hindering the development of China's technology industry. But will China really be choked? The answer is clearly negative. Faced with the US blockade, China has long embarked on the path of self-reliance. Starting from 2022, China has increased its investment in the research and development of chip technology. Although China did encounter some difficulties in the early stages, its progress speed far exceeded the imagination of the West. By now, China's chip technology has gradually caught up. More importantly, China has not been passively attacked, but has launched precise countermeasures. Starting from 2023, China will begin to control the export of germanium and gallium. These two rare metals are key materials for chip manufacturing, and China accounts for the majority of global production. It can be said that without China's germanium and gallium, the global chip industry would have to shut down. Data shows that since China implemented export controls, the prices of these two metals have increased by 53% each. 4% and 64%. 2%. This is not over yet. China has turned its attention to antimony again. This metal is an important raw material for manufacturing ammunition, and the United States has a high dependence on it. By October 2024, China's antimony exports to the United States had decreased by over 30%, while antimony prices had skyrocketed by 200% within a year. The United States is in a hurry, and the European Union is also in a hurry. So far, 31 countries have come forward to oppose China's export controls, including the 27 member states of the European Union. Speaking of the new energy sector, China's technological progress in new energy vehicles has put tremendous pressure on Western countries. China's electric vehicles are not only technologically advanced, but also very competitive in price. This has greatly impacted the traditional fuel vehicle market in European and American countries. So, the United States raised tariffs on Chinese new energy vehicles to 100%, and EU countries followed suit. This approach is nothing but an attempt to suppress China's new energy industry by increasing costs. But China is not a vegetarian either. In response to this situation, China has launched countermeasures against the European fuel vehicle market. As soon as the news came out, European car companies couldn't sit still and send delegations to China to plead for mercy. Although they may not say it verbally, they understand in their hearts that the Chinese market is too important for them. If China really hits hard on their fuel-powered cars, the lives of European car companies may be even more difficult. At this point, people may have a question: why does the United States always feel that it can do whatever it wants? A sentence from Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Hua Chunying pointed out the core of the problem. On December 4, Hua Chunying posted on social media questioning what makes the United States think it has the right to deprive China and other countries of their legitimate development rights. She also gave an analogy, saying that the US approach is like inviting others to a competition, but not giving them equipment. This sentence provides a sharp insight into the essence of this China-US confrontation. The current situation is that the sanctions imposed by the United States have not caused China to regress, but have instead pushed out its potential. China's chip research and development is accelerating, and the share of new energy vehicles in the global market is increasing. The export control of rare metals is causing great distress to Western countries. Although the United States has joined forces with 31 countries to oppose China's counter-sanctions, China has not compromised as a result. According to the latest news, pressure from the United States is causing some countries to waver. Taking the Netherlands as an example, although it has stopped exporting EUV lithography machines to China on the surface, there are increasing voices of opposition within the Netherlands. Due to the loss of China, a major client, the semiconductor industry in the Netherlands suffered heavy losses. Looking at Japan again, although they promised to cooperate with the United States on the surface, they have actually begun to look for alternative ways to cooperate with China. After all, cooperating with China is more advantageous for them. There is another interesting phenomenon worth noting. Despite the high tariffs imposed by the United States on Chinese new energy vehicles, Chinese new energy vehicle companies are exploring other markets, such as Southeast Asia, the Middle East, and Africa. Data shows that in 2024, the overseas sales of new energy vehicles in China increased by over 50% year-on-year. This indicates that China does not rely on the US and European markets. On the contrary, Western countries would suffer even greater losses if they lost China's rare metals and market. After reading this matter, I think there are several points that are worth pondering deeply. Firstly, the sanctions imposed by the United States appear to be killing 1,000 enemies and causing 800 self-inflicted losses. On the surface, they want to suppress China, but in reality, they are also harming their own and their allies' interests. For example, the price increase of rare metals not only causes headaches for the United States, but also for European countries, Japan, and even other developing countries. Secondly, China's countermeasures are very precise. Whether it's germanium, gallium, or antimony, these resources are not easily replaceable by Western countries. China's export control targets the key points of Western countries, demonstrating its strength and expanding its influence. Thirdly, this incident has also made us realize a truth: only when we become strong can we take the initiative in international games. Whether it's chips or new energy vehicles, China is proving through practical actions that blockades and suppression will only make China more self-reliant. Finally, what I want to say is that the United States and Western countries should really reflect on their actions. The world is no longer the era where they can do whatever they want. If they continue to maintain this lofty posture, it will only drive more countries away from them.